Equations of lines. We've already discussed a couple of forms of linear equations. We began with standard form, ax plus by is equal to c. And then we introduced slope-intercept form, y is equal to mx plus b, in which we said that from that point forward, we're always going to be using the slope-intercept form. There is yet a third way to write a linear equation using the point-slope form. However, we're still going to be focused on the slope-intercept form. Now, instead of giving a linear equation, we're going to work on problems where we're asked to write a linear equation. Once again, always using the y or slope-intercept form, y is equal to mx plus b. So in order to write an equation for a line using this form, all we have to do is identify slope m and where the y-intercept is, which will give us b. So example 1, it simply tells us the slope is -2, so m is equal to -2. The line that we're asked to find passes through the point 0, 7. So we recognize the point has an x-coordinate of 0, which means it is the y-intercept, so therefore b is equal to 7. So all we do is put them into the equation, y is equal to -2x plus 7, and we have an equation for a line with slope -2 and passes through the point 0, 7. Example 2, write an equation for a line with slope 4/3 and passes through the point 2, -5. So once again, always begin with slope. In this case, we're simply given the slope. Slope is equal to 4/3. We're also given a point that the line passes through, but in this case, it is not the y-intercept. The x-coordinate is not equal to 0. So we're going to have to do a little bit of a work in order to find b. Using the slope-intercept form, y is equal to mx plus b. Obviously, there's 4 variables. We're only allowed to solve for one variable. So if we're trying to solve for b, we can do that as long as we have values for y, m, and x in order to plug into the equation. And we do. Well, we already found m, which is 4/3. We have a point that the line passes through, which is a value for x and y. So substitute those values into the equation. Y is equal to -5, m the slope, 4/3, and x is 2. Which now we have a linear equation with only one variable, b, that we can solve for. So take a minute and do that. b is equal to -23/3. So now we have m, we have b. We can plug them together, put them together into an equation. Y is equal to 4/3 x minus 23/3. An equation for a line that has slope 4/3 and passes through the point 2, -5. Number 3, write an equation for a line that passes through the two given points 4, 6 and 8, 10. So always still want to begin with the slope. In this case, we're not told the slope or given the slope outright in the problem. But we know from previous problems that we can find the slope given 2 points using our formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So substitute those values into the formula, y2 minus y1, 10 minus 6, all over x2 minus x1, 8 minus 4. Simplify, it gives us a slope of 1. Now we just need to find b, where that y-intercept is. We have 2 points that the line passes through, but once again, neither one of them is the y-intercept, so we can just choose one point. It doesn't matter which one. We use the first one just because the numbers are a little smaller. Substitute those values into the y-intercept form along with the slope we just found. It gives us 6 is equal to 1 times 4 plus b, where we can easily solve for b. b is simply equal to 2. So we have the slope m, we have the y-intercept b. Substitute into the slope-intercept form now. Y is equal to 1x or x plus 2, the equation for a line that passes through those two given points. Example 4, write an equation for a line that passes through these 2 points. So same type of problem, begin by finding the slope, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So 10 minus a -1 all over 5 minus 5, simplify, 11 over 0, which of course a fraction can never have a 0 in the denominator, so that slope is undefined. That doesn't mean, though, we can't write an equation for a line. We need to recognize the fact that any line that has a slope that is undefined or does not exist is going to be a vertical line. And we know that vertical lines only have one variable, x, so it's simply going to be the equation x equals 5. The equation for a line that passes through those 2 points. Number 5, write an equation for a line perpendicular to the line 4x minus 3y is equal to 9 and passes through the given point, negative 3, 5. So write an equation for a line, as we said, always begin with the slope. Well, the word perpendicular, same as parallel, are key words that mean we're going to be working with the slope. So we want to begin by finding the slope of this given equation. In order to do that, we need to put it in slope-intercept form. Where now we can see its slope is a positive 4/3, which we know our slope for a line that's going to be perpendicular to it must be the opposite reciprocal, so the opposite reciprocal is going to be negative 3/4. So we found our slope. We just need to go back and find b, where the y-intercept is. The given point is not the y-intercept, so we use that same method again, substitute the values for x, y, and m into the slope-intercept form equation. 5 is equal to negative 3/4 times negative 3 plus b. So 5 is equal to 9/4 plus b. Subtract 9/4 from both sides. B is equal to 11/4. So we found n, we found b, put them together, y is equal to negative 3/4 x plus 11/4. And number 6. Write an equation for a line parallel to the given line. So once again, parallel, keyword, I'm going to be working with the slope of the given equation, negative x minus 2y is equal to negative 5. Put in slope-intercept form. Y is equal to negative 1/2 x plus 5/2, so its slope is negative 1/2. Since our line is going to be parallel to it, our slope is also going to be negative 1/2. Now in this case, the point that the line passes through is the y-intercept. X is equal to 0, so we don't have to do any work in order to find b. B is equal to negative 7. So our equation, y is equal to negative 1/2 x minus 7. And number 7. Read the problem, understand what's going on. A country club has annual dues made up of a fixed or flat fee, and then how many times per round of golf that's played. So it says let x represent the number of times golf was played. So the first person played 16 times and had a total fee of $16.90. Second person played 27 times, had a total fee of $24.05. So we can put those together into two ordered pairs, allowing us to write a linear equation that passes through those 2 points. Begin with the slope, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. The slope works out to be 65. Take one of those points and plug them into the equation. xy and the m value that we just found, 65, will allow us to solve for b. B works out to be 650. So the equation for the line, y is equal to 65x plus 650. Which means that the annual membership for the club is $650, the amount you have to pay no matter how much golf you play. And the fee for each round of golf then would be $65. So how much would your annual fee be for playing 21 games? Y would be equal to 65 times 21 plus 650, which works out to be $2,015. Extra practice problems. Example 1, write an equation for a line parallel to the line negative 3x plus y is equal to 9. So keyword parallel means that's where we're going to be deriving our slope from. So take that equation, put in slope-intercept form, which gives you the slope of that line. The slope is equal to 3. Since our line is parallel, that means our slope is also going to be equal to 3. The given point that the line passes through, in this case, is not the y-intercept. So we use that same method, substitute y, x, and m into the slope-intercept form, allowing us to solve for b. So from that point, y is equal to negative 6, m is equal to 3, and x is equal to 4. So b works out to be negative 18, which gives us the equation y is equal to 3x minus 18. Example 2, given this equation, find its slope, slope-intercept form. So y is equal to 3 halves x minus 4. Its slope is 3 halves. Our line is perpendicular to it, so our slope is going to be the opposite reciprocal, which is going to be a negative 2/3. Once again, the point that we're given is not the y-intercept, so substitute the values for x, m, and y into the equation, allowing us to solve for b. b is equal to negative 11. So now we have the equation y is equal to negative 2/3 x minus 11. The equation for a line perpendicular to the given equation and passes through the point negative 6, 7. Number 3, write an equation for a line that passes through these two given points. So begin by finding the slope once again using our formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, so negative 8 minus 7 all over 4 minus a negative 2, negative 15 over 6, which reduces to negative 5 halves. Find b. Either one of these points are not the y-intercept, so just choose one. The first one, a little bit smaller number, so substitute those values into the slope-intercept form. 7 is equal to negative 5 halves times negative 2 plus b. Solve for b. b is equal to 2. So y is equal to negative 5 halves x plus 2. Equation for the line that passes through those 2 points. In example 4, same type of problem. Begin by finding the slope, y2 minus y1, negative 4 minus a negative 4, all over x2 minus x1, 6 minus 2, which gives us 0 over 4. So any fraction with a 0 in the numerator simply equal to 0. And all lines that have a slope of 0 are horizontal lines. So write an equation for the line. All horizontal lines are in the form y equals some number, and it's going to be equal to the y-coordinate of these 2 points, which is negative 4. So the whole equation for a line passing through those 2 points is the horizontal line y equals negative 4. Number 5, another application problem. Given the information that 2 people and their wedding costs based on a fixed cost and then price per guest. So convert these into 2 ordered pairs. The first person, X stands for the number of guests, had 120 guests, and their total bill was $4,100. The next person had 175 guests, their bill was $57.50. So X represents the number of guests, Y represents the total bill for the wedding. Write in a linear equation, begin by finding the slope, same thing. Use the formula y2 minus y1, 5750 minus 4100 over x2 minus x1, 175 minus 120. So the slope works out to be 30. Find b. Use one of these points for x, y, and then use the slope we just found. 4100 is equal to 30 times 120 plus b, where b works out to be 500. So the equation for a line that passes through those 2 points, or the equation for a line that represents the cost of weddings at this particular wedding hall, y is equal to 30x plus 500. So the charge just to rent the hall would be the $500. Doesn't matter how many guests you have, that's just a flat fee. The cost per guest, where x represents the number of guests, is going to be $30 then. So therefore, a wedding with 200 guests, find the total cost. Y is going to be equal to 30 times 200 plus 500. So therefore, the total cost will be $6,500.